Hello and welcome to Kane's Wrath. Once again, we are in Kane's Wrath on the map Tournament Decision. And who do we have in the starting in the top right side? We have Too Pro, Too Fast, Too Good for you. No, his name is Too Pro, Too Fast, Too Good. He's also Bike Rush owns, kind of more of a known player. Very strong Kane's Wrath player. And in the bottom left side, he's Orange GDI Zocom, specifically, by the way. Orange Zocom, Too Fast, Too Pro, Too Good. And in the bottom left side, we have Skills Spectre, or just Spectre, playing as the Marked of Kane, Cyan, bottom left side. I totally messed up my intro, and this game, you better settle in. Hey, actually, pause it right now, go get yourself something to drink, go get yourself something to eat, settle in, pause it now. Okay, and you're back. Settle in, get ready. This was guaranteed to me by DJ Chill to be absolutely epic. So we have, as you saw, standard openers. We got two engineers. We got dropping down those two barracks. We got selling off those two barracks. Very standard out of both players. We do have our orange player, Bike Rush, pushing in. He might actually be able to take out that engineer. That would definitely be annoying because neither player is probably going to be building a barracks for a little while. But it does look like Spectre not able to grab that second Tiberium spike, and this is kind of frustrating. The engineer, you'd think, would be able to scoot by there, but he's going to have to wait until this foxhole goes down, which this attack bike will be able to do that quite easily. So it is important to note, not necessarily largely important, but our Bike Rush owns, which, oddly enough, Spectre is going for the bikes, but Too Pro, Too Fast, Too Good has controlled his Tiberium spikes a little bit longer, and he's also sending in this rifleman squad. He's getting a little bit of scouting information, not necessarily going to be doing a world of damage with this, but Spectre selling off his economy, or his refinery there. Pretty standard move there. He's up to 2 harvesters, probably going to power a couple more harvesters, up to 3 more off of this war factory. That would be absolutely standard. That's what you expect to see out of top tier players like this. Or, you know, dropping down the 3rd refinery and selling that off. Can also do that. But we do have Spectre moving out his MCV. Okay, so I'm completely wrong. Maybe the game has changed a little bit. More of standard you would used to see. Alright, now we're seeing him power a couple of harvesters. Normally you see, you know, 3, 4, 5 harvesters. Well, normally 4 or 5 harvesters. We do have a little bit of an attack bike, a little bit of a pit bull harassment. Both players going for the kind of same units, so to speak. We got the nod side of the unit, the attack bike, and the GDI basically equivalent, the pit bull. I actually don't know who would win in a straight up match, but I'm assuming we're going to see a 4th harvester out of Bike Rush owns, and I'm assuming we're going to see a 4th harvester out of Spectre, which this actually might be. No, he's going Scorpion tanks, but he is, where does that, he plopped down his MCV there. Maybe he's going to drop a refinery. Yes, alright, so now he's up to that kind of more standard 4 harvesters. And we do have Bike Rush. What's he up to? He's up to 5. This is standard play. Alright, those Mario games, Mario Sank games, kind of weirded me out because they weren't going standard, and then I saw a couple of players like Bike Rush and Spectre going that weaker economy in the beginning at first, and it got me worried. Maybe I really was out of the game too long, but we do have a Scorpion and an attack bike. Light harassment out of Spectre on Bike Rush, and it is important to note both of these players did play random, so they got these factions kind of randomly. But we do have a watchtower, going to lock this down just fine. Nothing is going to be coming of this. That would be absolutely bonkers if it did. I cannot imagine a player like Bike Rush owns losing to a Scorpion tank, single awakened, and, you know, attack bike. Although Spectre might be the player to do it. You know, using that special ability, EMP Blast, locking stuff down, I've seen that be very effective. I'm sure you have too. So this game, absolutely crazy. Not crazy so far, but alright, well, I shouldn't say it's absolutely crazy because I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. We're seeing it together, we're experiencing it for the first time together. We do have a scan coming down out of Mario, and he saw, I'm fairly certain, he saw that MCV. If he didn't see it, good on, did I say Mario? Dang, wow, that was bad. Anyways, Bike Rush owns, knows his opponent now has 2 full build queues. And when I say full build queues, I mean the ability to produce structures like, you know, base defenses. And I believe also the epic unit facilities, cranes can't produce that, although I might be mistaken, that is possible. And we're seeing dual airfields out of Bike Rush owns. Interesting there, he's going for Firehawks out of the 1, and it looks like Orcas based on the build time. No, dual Firehawks. Oh, 8 Firehawks. That is the perfect number to absolutely crush an MCV. Actually, he's Zocom, so he doesn't have those 3 bombs. He does not have the hardpoints upgrade that regular GDI does have. He has instead the ceramic armor, which makes his air units tougher, but the hardpoints upgrade allows them to carry more bombs. And we do have 2 Scorpion tanks. Don't want to engage directly with those pit bulls, as Scorpion tanks will of course own pit bulls every single time. We do have 2 pit bulls going down, and Bike just adding insult to injury, although this Zone Shatter is going to help even it up. If he can get off 1 or 2 shots on these Scorpion tanks, if he can get off a couple of shots on these Scorpion tanks, that will of course absolutely devastate him. Woo, we have a little bit of a proxy. And if not, and the tech lab goes down immediately. 4 grand down the drain for our Cyan player. What's his name? Goes down. He just dropped 4 grand on absolutely nothing. And we do have 2 skill. Spectre just lost that 4 grand. He's up to 2 grand now. He is getting another refinery and getting that air tower. It'll be interesting to see. He no longer has that tech lab, so he can't get that particular upgrade for those venoms that makes the venom so good. It is that supercharged particle. So good. It affects your basically everything that uses the little machine gun, such as the shredder turrets or your basic infantry, I believe. And it makes them so good. Although Zone Raiders are also very good, can be used very effectively. It'll be interesting to see if Too Pro, Too Fast, Too Good is dropping refineries with his Firehawks. Interesting there. Not actually using that Stratofighter upgrade, I don't think. That Stratofighter ability. We do have Marv out, epic unit is out, and we do have 2 Zone Raider squads and possibly 2 engineers. That's a fairly common practice. We do have 1 engineer. That engineer, of course, gives the Marv self-healing abilities. This is a very potent unit composition for the Marv. I was going to say, back when I was talking about the airfields before that Firehawk attack, I was going to say it would be interesting to see possibly Zone Raiders or Zone, whatever they're called as Zocom, the Zone Raiders could take down a couple of refineries, or just go for the, he was able to sell that off. I want to say it before I get up to it. We do have an epic battle going down here because it involves an epic unit immediately going down. All of those credits, absolutely. God, I was going to talk about Hammerheads and Zone Troopers. And Zone Raiders, I should say. Zone Raiders, such an awesome combination. And we do have those magnetic mines from our Marked of Kane player Spectre, and a ton of stealth from this disruption tower out of our Nod player. And he does have a stealth Obelisk of Light, absolutely bonkers there. I mean, Obelisk of Light, crazy enough as is, you stealth it. We do have a little bit of harassment, going to be able to take down 1-2 harvesters at least. Those rocket harvesters out of Zocom, they're fairly good, not going to be able to take down 5 Scorpion tanks though. And the Scorpion tanks can just reverse move out of here when they're done taking down that harvester, or they can continue to do a little bit of damage, take down that refinery, that which will stop any further harvesting, even though there's not a whole lot of harvesting going on. We're dropping down base defenses, those dual base defenses from those 2 MCVs, absolutely crucial right now, as Spectre pushing in another Marv out of our Bike Rush player. And what is he gonna put in it? He's already got 1 Zone Raider squadron, But this Awaken can lock it down. These Awakened squads can lock it down with their EMP, although not when they're dead. And we do have obelisks possibly going down from these Firehawks. Firehawks, you need to be attacking something. Drop your bombs and get out of there. Alright, so we do have one obelisk down, but these can be replenished fairly quickly by those dual MCVs. Absolutely crazy there. Those dual obelisks, and I believe he's building another one. Probably gonna... No, actually, Disruption Tower. Very useful there, as he's gonna have to use scans, he's gonna have to use Orca scans, but he doesn't have any. Or he's gonna have to bring in some pit bulls. Bike Rush is going to, if he wants to see what's going on in this area. A third airfield, he might use this for... I completely missed it. I'm sorry, folks. We do these 4 or 5 Scorpion tanks. Far more important than I imagined they were going to be. Was able to take down both of those airfields. Those Firehawks almost died, and if you didn't know, Firehawks have to have a place to land. Oh, locking down that airfield. They're not taking off. They're going down. This is fairly devastating. He is able to get them off the ground. Get them off the ground. All right. Bike Rush getting his Orcas, getting his Firehawks off the ground, although if they go down with this airfield, that will be a pretty big deal. But Watchtowers, pretty good, not so good against beam cannons. Beam cannons going down, absolutely gone, all 3, or at least 2 of them. I believe there was 3, but there might have only been 2. Down, they're going to be able to take down these base defenses, no problem. Take down this airfield, no problem, unless Bike Rush does something about it. And these Scorpion tanks cleaning up the rest of the main base, powering down anything that Bike Rush has. He's dropping a lot of base defenses. He's going to want to upgrade these with the advanced turbines to keep them running. And we do have Spectres as well as the beam cannon. So as if, you know, one long-range artillery unit wasn't enough, we do have 2. And we do not have that supercharged particle beam upgrade. As you can see, there are no upgrades on this tech lab. It is just for that tech, which I believe you do need the tech lab to get the Spectres. You're not going to need all of those Firehawks. Not the best micro. He could have taken down an airfield or something. He could have scanned and taken down something. Or maybe taken down a disruption center. But we do have that airfield going to go down from these Spectres. It does go down. Firehawks... It does look like it was full of Firehawks, absolutely devastating there, which means only 4 Firehawks remain. And we do have Marv cleaning up this Tiberium field a little bit. I'm assuming he is at 2 Engineer, 2 Raider squads. No, that looks like... What has he got on there? I guess railguns. I don't remember what unit does that. Somebody, if you could tell me what kind of units he's got going on in there. We do have Firehawks making rounds, taking down Spectres and beam cannons, which not necessarily the most useful thing to be using Firehawks for, but in this situation, the perfect remedy, because we don't have a whole lot. We do have some anti-air out of Spectre. Spectre does have a fair amount of anti-air as he's massing those missile squads from 2 Hands of Nod. He is going to have a fair amount of those militant rocket squads. And as you need to know, no ceramic armor upgrade for Bike Rush. We do have him heading up to that northern Tiberium field. He did drop down his MCV up here. It is heavily damaged, and we do still have those 2 MCVs from Spectre. He is, you know, pumping out those dual base defenses, but now Bike Rush getting that MCV, he has officially kind of ran out of money, dropping down another airfield. This is like number 5 airfield or number 6, and this is base absolutely getting crushed by Spectre. Absolutely gotta pause it, hold one moment, folks. And we do have Spectre pushing in, absolutely crushing Bike Rush's expansion. I almost said refineries, but it was more than that, just that. What does Bike Rush have to come back from this? Well, it looks like he does have that hard points upgrade, which, okay, yeah, so he's got it. So maybe he had it before and I just didn't notice. I didn't think the Firehawks looked very different. I guess they don't get too much of an upgrade with that. But we do have him running some, what am I trying to say? Some bombing runs with Firehawks. But Spectre has a crazy army. He's got so much stuff here. He's got triple production facilities. He's got war factories, at least 2 war factories pumping out stuff. No, he sold off that other war factory. He's only got 1 war factory, and he sold off his dual barracks. So I guess he's actually down to 1-1 for his production facilities. Does still have that air tower. Does not have the tech lab. No tech lab anywhere out of Spectre. Spectre absolutely crazy. I've totally missed this battle. I'm sorry. I saw that we saw none of it so far, and we do have these hammerheads. They don't have the AP ammo upgrade, so they're not nearly as effective as they could be. But we do have the Marv coming in, crushing absolutely everything, going to be able to clean up a fair amount of this army. We do have a lot of unprotected beam tanks now. Beam cannons now that are just going to go down to those hammerheads. We don't have anything to deal with the hammerheads. We've seen this before. We've seen hammerheads be so effective. We have venoms, though. They do not have that supercharged particle upgrade, and if they get that, they will be absolutely devastating. If those venoms in force, we've seen venoms being used effectively in the past, and those weren't even with the supercharged particle upgrade. Although Firehawks, he does have 2 Firehawks so far. I'm not seeing too many more on the minimap, but we do have at least 2 Firehawks out of Bike Rush 4 hammerheads. If he loads these hammerheads up, he's got 2 missile squads right here, a couple of infantry squads. Infantry squads not going to add that much firepower, but they are going to add enough when dealing with special infantry squads. We did see a couple of those Tiberium Trooper infantry squads, and a Marv settling upon this unprotected base could take out 1, possibly 2 MCVs, but does he have anything to deal with these Venoms? He does have those Firehawks. Firehawks going to be very effective against these Venoms. Got to watch out for those Magnetics Mines. Those will be the end of the MCV. No, they won't. They don't do that much damage, but when you couple them with a couple of Wyken, locking down that MCV with that EMP on top of those magnetic mines, and you're dealing damage with other stuff, then it's devastating. What we do have beam cannons. If they're able to leech enough of this, if they're able to do enough damage and leech enough life off of this Marv, that could, take it down to half HP without any problem. And we do have capturing the EMP center. Finally, I have been waiting for something like this to happen. We do have that EMP center going to be captured. You know what this is really good for? It's good for locking down armies. You know what else it's absolutely awesome for? Locking down large groups of Venoms. You want to see a Venom army go down very quickly, or in this case, Hammerheads. If Spectre would have captured this earlier on, and if he would have held this EMP, he could have locked down all of those Hammerheads, completely eliminated them, not lost a single unit in the engagement. And we do have a very sneaky Hammerhead. We need to keep an eye on this Hammerhead as it is being loaded up with an engineer. I thought that engineer was going to go for the attack, the defensive turret, but we do have a Hammerhead coming out of here. Is he going to try and grab an MCV? That would absolutely be crazy, and it might just be enough to turn this around. Although if actually I forgot, but Spectre does have those 2 MCVs, so never mind. But where is our hero? Oh, grabbing that Tiberium tower. Interesting choice there, that Tiberium spike. He is going to be, gaining that extra income, and holding this EMP tower is crucial right now because it does have a cooldown. You cannot use it immediately. A little bit of a Hammerhead line. Those Hammerheads can be very important and are going to be very important in this upcoming battle, as we do have a lot of attack bikes, but the Marv tanks the damage from all of these units for a couple of seconds, and while it takes down the attack bikes, and then the Hammerheads come in and clean up everything else. It can be very potent of an attack force if done correctly. But this EMP control, if it goes down, that's going to be a little bit of a downer for Bike Rush. Bike Rush, can he come out of this? I don't know if he can. He doesn't have enough to deal with this army. Although Firehawks, not flame tanks, we do have Firehawks possibly going to be taking down the construction arm. Can he finish it off? Can Bike Rush finish this con yard off? That would be half of the production queues down. And as we saw before, we saw those dual base defenses be very useful in taking down this base, or at least doing a lot of damage. And dual SAM sites, being able to produce dual SAM sites at this time is very important to Spectre. Look at that. Or even dual shredder turrets is very important to Bike Rush at this point because he's got missile squads, he's got infantry squads of all kinds in his base, messing his stuff up. But we do have Firehawks dropping down the bombs, taking down the MCV. Whatever was building did not finish. It is gone. We only have one MCV now out of our marked up Kane player. I'll remember his name eventually, but you know, now he can match the. Actually, I don't even know if our GDI player has an MCV. He may have sold it off. No, our GDI player, Bike Rush, doesn't have any sort of production facilities except for a single airfield, which is apparently invisible. I don't know why. Okay, so apparently Too Pro, Too Fast, Too Good can't see his own airfield. We do have a little bit of an EMP locking everything down. You messed up a little bit, Too Pro, Too Fast, Too Good. Although not necessarily. If you've got your helicopters killing everything, you didn't mess up. You're absolutely owning this army. And what kind of an army do we have left out of Spectre? We don't have a whole lot going on. The resources are basically, oh man, that was a brilliant move. He's dried up, all of the resources are gone off the map, and Spectre grabbed that Tiberium spike from 2 Pro, from Bike Rush, and then Bike Rush grabbed it back. He controls basically the only economy, and he was able to basically speed harvest half of that Tiberium field with the Marm. So now, Spectre doesn't have a whole lot going on. He had the superior army, he had those absolutely crazy amounts of Spectres, or of beam cannons, but now what has he got? He's got a fire sale going on. Tiberium Troopers' his last hope of slowing down that Marv, but you don't have anything to deal the damage. And we got Firehawks, no, we got Hammerheads coming in, but Spectre has been defeated. Absolutely awesome game there between Spectre and between Bike Rush. So great game there. Where are my, I don't get any graphs. No graphs for this game, I guess. So can't talk about that. I would have liked to see the resource graph on that game, but absolutely crazy game. We saw Spectre kind of leading in the army, crushing expansions, just absolutely, I would say, for most of the game, outplaying Bike Rush. Bike Rush, a top player. Spectre, also a top player. Bike Rush able to bring it out ahead in the end, which is what matters. Bike Rush, absolutely great game out of him. Spectre played very well, played awesomely, was able to crush expansions, crush main bases, even with those 5 Scorpion tanks that I totally missed, and we saw them crushing the main base. Absolutely great out of Spectre. Great play from both of these players. Interesting to watch, awesome to watch. Good job to DJ Chill, throwing me an epic game. I love it when he does that. Go check this game out. I will try and remember to start posting the replay links down below in the description. Go check this out if you want to see it for yourself and kind of analyze it a little bit more step by step, which, you know, could be quite interesting for you to do. You do want to note that we did have strong economies in the beginning out of both players. 5, 6 harvesters, kind of pushing what's the norm. Normally you see 4 or 5, 6 is kind of pushing it out there. We did see 6 and 7 harvesters in kind of the early mid game out of both of these players. Great game out of both of these players. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I will see you in another game. This is Sybert signing out.